So the Pentagon came out recently and they did this big brouhaha, which they do. You know, they like to do these big PR kind of events, and they're all worried now because China is going to have 400 nuclear warheads. Now we have to take this into perspective. China has 400 nuclear warheads. And that's absolutely horrible because guess what? One nuclear warhead can kill hundreds of thousands of people. So that's a very bad thing. But the United States of America, we have at least 4,000, if not 6,000 or more nuclear warheads. And we're creating more and more all the time. We don't ever really get rid of any of the nuclear warheads that we have because guess what? Even if we try to dismantle them, we can't really put the waste anywhere because it would kill everything that it's in. It's absolutely crazy that we have all these nuclear weapons. But the Pentagon said, you know what? China is going to have 400 nuclear warheads. Whew, we have like 4,000 to 6,000, maybe 8,000 ourselves, but we need to create more. So they actually have the B-21 new stealth bomber coming out, and they're going to actually build 100 of those, and we're talking about like hundreds of millions of dollars for each of them, and they're all going to be nuclear warhead capable. Because we actually need to have nuclear warheads on our submarines, we actually need to have them in the ground, and we actually need to have them on the planes. I'm somebody who actually was on a military base that had nuclear warheads, and I will tell you that was the biggest eye-opener to me there was, because there's no reason in the world we need that many nuclear weapons. One nuclear weapon would be catastrophic. You know what? In the 1940s, when we dropped 2 bombs on Japan, we killed hundreds of thousands of people. And people kind of act like, well, we had to do it to end the war. You know, that's debatable. But what we did after that is we said, we're not going to just see this as an absolutely horrific thing that we did, but we're going to actually escalate it and make it tenfold every damn year. From the 1940s till now, so you're talking about 80 years, we went from 2 nuclear weapons to we have about 6,000 nuclear warheads now. Russia has about 6,000 nuclear warheads. If you put them all together, all of the countries in the world, we have about 14,000 nuclear warheads. This is what's frustrating to me. They're all bad. They all need to be banned. You know, when military people say they're absolutely necessary, that is asinine. That is bullshit because they're not necessary. If a nuclear war happened, I will tell you point blank, and this is the God's honest truth, nobody would survive. The animals would not survive. That old joke that a cockroach would survive a nuclear war, no, it wouldn't. Everything would die. Every life on this planet would die. The United States of America has enough nuclear weapons that we could kill everybody on this planet 14 times over. So we could basically keep killing you and killing you and killing you and killing you. And the way that artificial intelligence is happening with our nuclear capability, these nuclear weapons are actually being run by computers. If you ever saw the movie with Matthew Broderick called War Games, it was in the 1970s, look that up. It talked about how if a computer took over these different programs, it could actually create a launch. That is where we are today. We have this false belief that the humans could actually shut things down and it would not happen. Artificial intelligence could absolutely override humans. The nuclear weapons could actually be sabotaged. They could actually be destroyed. They could actually malfunction. They could actually misfire. They could actually go off underground. There's 1,000 different things that could go wrong with nuclear weapons that would actually create nuclear winners, and that would be if just one went off. If we just had one nuclear weapon go off today, and let's say it went off in some place like Ukraine, nuclear winter would set in and most of the food in that region would be destroyed for 10 to 15 years. All the people would die, but then the soil would be dead too, and it would create things that would only create cancer of people who would eat it. We've got to stop thinking this is good. Whenever I read this about the Pentagon, I said, well, of course, because I'm not a big fan of the military. I was in the military, and I'm the kind of person the military doesn't like. I'm somebody that believed all the propaganda. I believed all the lies until I saw it firsthand, and I started asking the right questions. There is no reason in the world that we should have all the nuclear weapons we have. If China has 400 nuclear weapons. Guess what? We don't need to build 100 new B-21 stealth bombers to carry more nuclear warheads. That's not the answer. If somebody throws a rock at you, your answer is not throw a rock back at them. We have to de-escalate this situation. If China has 400 nuclear weapons, we don't build more nuclear weapons. We talk to them about actually dismantling the nuclear weapons we have. We can't keep going down this path. We can't. For us to think that eventually nuclear weapons will not kill all life on this planet, it's asinine. It's absolutely asinine. If a nuclear war happened today, all life on this planet would end. All life. And people act like, well, no, it would just be like one or two little nuclear weapons going off and we'd get under control real quick. Not the way it would work. If a nuclear weapon went off, the other country would automatically send nuclear weapons back to us, and there would be this tit for tat for a while before calmer heads would prevail. But the mutually assured destruction, that mad crap, that's crazy. We think that it's like nobody would do it because it would kill us all, but if one person did it, we would all do it because it would kill us all. We can't keep thinking that way. If China has 400 nuclear weapons, we need to talk to them about dismantling their nuclear weapon systems, and we need to dismantle our nuclear weapon system. If Russia has 6,000 nuclear weapons, we need to talk to them about dismantling our nuclear weapons. I'm not a big fan of Ronald Reagan, but him and Gorbachev actually had it right, in the late 1980s when they we need to be getting rid of these nuclear weapons because they're actually gonna kill us all. And actually Reagan and Gorbachev knew this. But after Reagan disappeared and Gorbachev got pushed out, they started building it back up again. There's no reason in the world that we need to build 21 new stealth bombers to carry nuclear weapons. When the Pentagon tells you we need to do all this stuff because they're doing all this stuff, you know what? If they're jumping off a bridge, I'm not jumping off the bridge too. We have more than enough nuclear weapons across the board in every country in the world. We do. The only people that don't have nuclear weapons are the really poor countries. But guess what? They would be the ones that would be affected if a nuclear war happened, and they'd be affected really quickly. There's not any place in the world that a nuclear bomb could not reach. No place. If you ever hear some kind of stupid story in a newspaper talk about, well, this would be the best place to go in a nuclear war, that's asinine. I've met those people who are preppers who actually think if they went underground, and they stayed down the ground for 30 days and they came back up after a nuclear war, they'd be able to survive. You gotta have food, you gotta have water. You only got so much below ground. Everything above ground is contaminated. There's gonna be nothing you could drink or eat that actually would not kill you. It's absolutely crazy the way we think. We do things pretending that if we have this little bit of control, that this big crazy chaos out here doesn't exist. You can't have this much little control and negate this big crazy chaos that's out here. Nuclear war would kill us all. Nuclear war would kill every life on this planet. When you have these scientists talk about doomsday predictions and stuff, and they talk about the clock and how close we are to midnight and the end of civilization, they're not saying that because they're actually trying to shock you and get press and everything else, because guess what? People aren't giving them the time of day. They should give them the time of day because the doomsday clock is real. We are about 2 minutes. We're probably about 1 minute to midnight, and midnight being the end of it all. Nuclear weapons can fail. They can be sabotaged. They can be destroyed. They can actually go back up, come back down, and kill the people that set them off to begin with. We gotta stop doing what we're doing. We have enough nuclear weapons in the United States of America to kill everybody on this planet 14 times over. When the Pentagon tells you they're gonna be building 100 new B-21 stealth bombers to carry nuclear warheads, and they want you to be excited about that, don't be excited about that. See it for what it is. It's crazy. It's asinine. It's almost like we're all little bitty lemurs following each other to the cliff and jumping off to our own, suicides. That's what we're doing. We got to wake up, and we got to wake up quick. Whenever, we first started getting attention to climate change and stuff, I was absolutely, telling people, yeah, absolutely. And An Inconvenience Truth, I watched that with Al Gore, and I was like, yeah, we should be paying attention to this. But I told people then, it's like, that's not the thing that I think will kill humans on this planet. I think that we are playing Russian roulette with nuclear weapons, and if we ever had a nuclear war start, it would end very quickly for all of us. We got to start talking about it, and we have to change. Reagan and Gorbachev were on the right path. We need to get back on that path, and we need to stop this. And the time is running out. Whenever they say we're 1 minute to midnight, we're 1 minute to midnight.